Alright, we're here with Daniel from Cold Start, and what is Cold Start, bro?
So, Cold Start Dab Co. started out as an idea to really help remove the trepidation towards concentrates that a lot of people have. You know, I think I can speak for a lot of people here that whenever somebody gave you your first dab, it was always like they smacked you up, your lungs hurt, and we wanted to show people that that's not what it's all about. It's about flavor, enjoyment, and getting your medication faster.
So with that, what brought you to cannabis?
Honestly, I've been a huge fan of it since I was in high school. Kind of fell into the culture, skating, making music, everything like that. So it was always around. All my friends had it, and once I kind of tried it, I was like, this isn't bad at all, because I'd already had a beer before. But when I tried it, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the taste, the aroma, all of it just kind of combined into this enigma that I had to have it. I wouldn't want to say I was a fiend for it, but it was really a beautiful plant that I can enjoy thoroughly.
So you're talking about a recreational and all that stigma behind it. Normally recreational doesn't get into wanting to better the other side. What you're talking about, changing that stigma kind of seems more like, for us with Aldang, we started it ultimately creating a with the goal to create a medicinal product at the recreational price, right?
Absolutely.
It sounds like you're doing a lot of the same on the dab side. What switched you from that, from the recreational mindset to medicinal mindset?
Honestly, the biggest factor that did it was my family. A lot of my family was they had abstained from it, they'd looked down on it, and as they got older, I saw the mentality towards the plant changing and its benefits. So from that, it was like, okay, we're done with the street. The street was fun, but it was scary and dangerous, and now we're here in a much more legal aspect, trying to advocate for the medication that these people need. Kind of harking back to what Chef Kush said, like, I definitely see the THCA stigma right now in the state as like yes, people may be accepting it, but it's also the people that are kicking in the door trying to get the product here, because at that point, it's making it accessible for people, because the people that are controlling everything are not having their family members need it, they're advocating for it and talking to it. So it led to that little push, kind of really, bringing it to the light here in the state of Texas, which is important, and I think that, like, as a community, that's where we need to be.
Awesome. Where can we find Cold Start at?
So right now you can find Cold Start. We just opened up our first location right around the corner from SAC, just up north from San Pedro Park. We also have coldstartdabco.com, Cold Start Dab Co on Instagram. That's usually where you can find us, chop it up with us, ask any questions. If y'all have any questions about anything, dabs, concentrates, cannabis, edibles, anything, we're here to educate. And at the same time, I'm here to learn as well. So, I love all the conversations that have been going on today, everything that I've been learning from all of you guys here as well. We appreciate the opportunity for coming out, really do.
Student of the game, I love that, man. People always talk to me, I'm not a cannabis expert. And if you sit me next to Chef Kush, he's the cannabis, he's the science behind it.
Yeah.
And then I always say that I'm the For Dummies version. The book, the For Dummies books. I said, I got you right there. On that side, I can explain that. When you don't understand him, I got you.
It's important.
Yeah, it's very important. A lot of us, and like I said, I love Chef Kush, man. He's a genius. It took a real team to get us where we're at. But yeah, man, that's awesome. Got to stay a student of the game. Got to keep learning from it.
Absolutely. With the way, honestly, it's like with as fast as things are moving here in the country, it still seems like things are moving turtle slow here in Texas. But we've talked to a lot of folks, and it's happening. It's going to be a waiting game. That's what everybody seems to know. But I'd rather have it on the docket, on the ballot right now than where we were 5-10 years ago. And I think that the push that a lot of these folks are making here in Texas and across the country is really important because, like you're saying about hometown heroes, you know, these are people that provide for veterans. These are people who provide for their families too. So this market is something that it gives in both directions. It gives to the families who need it. It gives to the patients who need their medication. And at the end of the day, the people that are making the decisions on these bills, they're going to see the revenue coming in. You know, that's going to light that little candle right there because they're seeing money being made. And at the end of the day, all they look at is papers with numbers. You know, and I think when they start seeing numbers big enough to where they can say we can tax it, then and actually do something with it, I think that's when it's going to kind of push it a little bit harder. You know, kind of get things moving a little bit faster.
For sure. As we close out, anything on your heart, either about your business, cannabis, or both, that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, cannabis is it brings people together. You know, if you feel like you're by yourself, go meet some people. Some of the best people I've ever met in my life are part of the cannabis industry. They've always welcomed me with open arms, and that's something that we really strive for with Cold Start. You know, we're here to treat everybody like a friend, a family member, educate you. If you have questions, we're open for it. We want to help you. And I think that once we grow together as a community and start embracing each other like that, I think we're going to go in a really good direction.
What you just said, that reminds me of two things. First, Snoop Dogg. He had said a quote one time, and I'm gonna not word for word, I'm gonna get that wrong. But something along the lines of, you pit opposing gang members at a table with alcohol, and a fight's gonna start out. But you put opposing gang members at a table with weed, and you're gonna have a conversation to try to come to peace.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And to me, that's a big thing. That's a major quote right there. And it, you know, there's a lot of sense to it. But second, you're talking about the acceptance and, you know, some of the people that you met within the cannabis industry. Man, I ain't realized until I got into the industry, and then later on, I found God. There's so many people at church that are so big and believe in cannabis,
Absolutely.
but are so scared to come out.
Yeah.
You know, and I walk into church, man, sweats, black Air Forces on, a hoodie with one of my Texas Cannabis and Blacko hats.
Absolutely.
You know, before, you know, I had other things going on with my kids now in playing school sports and, you know, probation for cannabis charges. I was able to go to my men's group a lot more often, and the same thing, I go in there straight from work, smelling like cannabis hat on, and there was no judgment. You know, so one, credits to my church for building a church with that type of community, but two, man, I was so surprised how many people are so accepting and have so many questions and want to come, you know, try that versus the medications they're taking from a place like, you know, the stigma of church, which, you know, again, credit to my church, they really saved me along with cannabis, you know. But yeah, what you're saying there, meeting people within the cannabis industry, you meet so many less angry people.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I think that's a beautiful thing, you know. Like church and cannabis is, you know, people have always used cannabis for years, for decades, hundreds of years to get closer and connect with themselves, with their higher powers, whatever that may be. And, you know, to see that it's happening here and that they're being accepting, you know, because it's nothing like, it's just a little smell here and there. A lot of the people that do use it are well aware of their faculties too, you know, so going into these public settings and being able to be accepted and embraced in that, especially in the church and the culture like that, it's all love, like, and that's a beautiful thing to see. I really do appreciate that.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for everything you're doing
Thank
today.
you. That's beautiful.
And we really look forward to doing more work and more partnerships.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank y'all again for the opportunity.